Okay, yeah, you can talk to people.
Ah!
So it's just those bottom three.
The destruction of Mount Ariat.
I heard that you were there 20 years ago when Mount Ariat was destroyed.
Baal, the Lord of Destruction, sought to enslave mankind to the power of hell by corrupting the sacred.
Oops. I thought that I was actually
What
controlling.
happened to
Wait,
you?
no,
The
no, no, no,
resultant
no, no, no,
explosion
no, 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 no.
hard. I knew that.
1 minute. The destruction of Mount
I heard that you
Ariat.
were
Sorry,
there
guys.
20 years ago when Mount Ariat was destroyed.
Baal, the Lord of Destruction, sought to enslave mankind to the power of hell by corrupting the sacred world stone. Unthinkable though it was, I was forced to destroy it.
And half the countryside with it.
Understand, friend, that entire worlds burned as heaven and hell fought over the world stone. Ariat's destruction was regrettable. And, believe me, I paid a high cost as well.
Yeah, they're awfully quiet right now.
Balancing the audio in this game is atrocious. It's not fun. So last 20 years?
What happened to you after you destroyed the world stone?
The resultant explosion dispersed the light and harmony of my angelic being. Without form or shape, I restored myself within the realm of pandemonium. It took me 20 of your years, but finally, I returned home to the high heavens.
The other angels must have been grateful.
Hardly. Believing my actions had endangered creation, the Angiras Council put me, the Archangel of Justice, on trial. I knew then that heaven was doomed, unless I could enlist the aid of mankind against the coming onslaught of hell.
Zoltan Kuhl's death.
300 years ago, I selected Kuhl and 6 others to form the Horadrim. He was a great man who was driven mad by his long quest to hunt evil.
Why did the Horadrim kill Zoltan Kuhl?
He delved into powers not meant for man, trying to fashion an artifact that could fill his empty heart with the souls of angels and demons. The Horadrim had no choice but to slay him. The Order never recovered.
Lord Lies. That's Belial, right?
Have you
Yeah.
ever met Belial in battle?
Not openly. He was never one to lead an army, always in the shadows, much like his mentor Mephisto. He wields intrigue and artifice as proficiently as you wield your weapons.
Okay, that's interesting. Do you want to talk with Leah or Adria? Well,
I'll let you do it.
I don't like dealing with Kuhl any better than you do, but I see no other way. If Adria says we must, then we must. Uncle Deckard trusted her, and so will I. I miss Uncle Deckard so much. It's hard going on without him.
It is hard to leave the dead behind. Most of us never truly can. But he will live on in your memory, Leah.
Thank you. I'm going to get back to my research.
Tyrael's warning.
Tyrael seems to think that Zoltan Kuhl cannot be trusted. Shouldn't we listen to him?
It will be dangerous, but you have faced great peril before. If Belial and Azmodan invade, you will have much more to worry about than a dismembered wizard.
Ugh, dismembered. Well, that's true. We are getting his body parts.
After surviving the devastation in Tristram all those years ago, I swore vengeance upon Diablo and his ilk. I've sacrificed everything for it. This is my path, and I will follow it through to its bloody end.
Leah is grateful to have you here. She has lost so much.
She has a kind heart.
Isn't that what you wanted?
Kindness will not help us survive in these dark times. The Lord of Lies is cunning. He wears many masks to hide his shifting nature from us. But we will have an advantage over him. The Black Soul Stone. Belial fears its power, for Soul Stones have bested his siblings in the past, and he could be imprisoned as well.
Ah, so these soul stones are a kind of bane to these demons.
Yep. Oh, it's the only way to trap him. Alright, we good to go?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's actually go out this way. So, ancient path. Yeah, let's just go out to this one so we know where we're going.
You and I are the same. But those others, the fallen angel, the witch, they're using you for their own ends. You choose to be their puppet. Yet the power of your birthright could make you a god.
I am a priest of Rathma. I serve a greater calling.
There's no need to be snide. Soon enough, I'll walk this world again. Then I'll show you what a Nephilim can achieve.
Not enough essence.
Oh.
My archives lie beneath this desert. Perhaps even beneath the sands we now tread upon. The
Need more
Horadrim could
time.
not destroy them. They could only lock the door behind them. And I still have the keys.
There we go. So if I remember right, this is actually the longest part of the game. I'm going to quickly switch out.
Really, the desert? Also, can we turn up the volume so I can actually hear them too?
We'll turn it up on the TV.
TV. Okay.
Yeah. So it's not easy. Let's see. Line of bone spikes to damage enemies. I'm gonna try that. That looks fun. Okay, so let's go with this. So I think this is the longest part of the game that a lot of people are kind of grumpy about. It's actually a really heavy reference to Diablo II.
Because all of this area was once vermin.
Yes.
Still waiting.
So there's a point where you're supposed to go find, like a special like Horadric archive or some kind of magical MacGuffin in Diablo 2, and it involves combing the desert for, it's like 10 different crypts.
Oh, is there a boss? Where is he?
Up here somewhere? Yeah, there he is. But so you have to like comb these crypts over and over and over again.
I grow weak.
Oh, yeah, I took a lot of damage there.
Yeah,
Don't
watch
stand in
out.
poison.
My hatred is too low.
Why
Not
is-
ready yet.
Why is the character chatter? I should see if that's an option. That can be, I wonder if that's an option that can be,
Wait,
changed.
is he called Nine Toads?
I need more
Ninetoads.
hatred to do that.
I want to say he's a, that's a
Need more
reference to
time.
actual Borderlands. But it could be wrong.
Well, Terror of the Borderlands.
I could be wrong. But yeah, so effectively, what you had to do is just search these, like, hidden crypts. They were effectively, like, they were mazes with, like, floating platforms, but you had to, like, actually
Ah.
walk around them.
Is that one of your zombies?
Which
oh,
one?
yeah. The dark ones.
Yeah, the dark ones. That's my resurrect move.
Oh, okay, so those are the corpses of our enemies.
That needs to recharge.
Yeah. You know, let's quick pause in a second. I want to see if I can turn off the, like, I'm out of mana things. Yeah, let's do that now. Ninetoes is the first boss of Borderlands 1. Gotcha. Okay, maybe sound? No. Gameplay.
Maybe it's defensive messages? Or no?
It could be.
But that's display, not audible.
Floating numbers. No, that's not actually that helpful.
Maybe
I'd
it's
love it
just
if I could turn this
built
off.
in.
Because elective mode is awesome. And isn't what I'm looking for. Auto-equip items, tooltips, smart mini-map, rarity icons for items. No, that's obnoxious. Yeah, because I hate the, I'm out of mana. It's like, I don't need to hear that.
I don't have enough hatred.
Yeah, because it's like,
I know.
that'll get sorted one way or another. Ish. It's not... Okay, here we go. But yeah, so for this game, it's not as bad as Diablo 2. It's not a maze anymore, it's just dungeons. But the dungeons are randomly generated.
Some of my blood is within that cave. I can feel it.
Cave of the Betrayer. maybe it's not so bad.
This creature will
Oops.
die.
Might may have accidentally
Yeah.
set it off.
This will be interesting.
Oh, hello. There am I. There am I.
I believe with this soul stone, I will finally be able to unlock the true power of man. In ancient times, our kind possessed power unmatched in this dreary age. With the soul stone,
Not
I
enough
will be
hatred.
able to elevate myself to the strength of my ancestors.
And yeah, we could turn off the audio, the voice acting between. The main problem is there's a lot of incidental audio. This isn't like certain games where you know characters are going to talk. Frustratingly, it's one of those where it's like you walk into an area and the NPC is going to be like, "Hey, thing," and it's like, what bodies?
Yeah, and you have a ton of spiders and such too. Those are the ones that you had resurrected, no doubt.
Yep. I'm noticing my dudes aren't very aggressive. But yeah, dialogue sliders like that are really important in games for Let's Players and stuff. It always makes me very
My
happy
hatred is too low.
when I see that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Not ready yet.
And the funny thing is, my hatred comes back fairly swiftly, so...
Yeah, so it's like, it's such a meaningless little update. It's like, my hatred is too low. Several seconds later, I have full hatred. Start using moves again. It's like, ah!
Mm-hmm.
I was having that problem in a couple of different games. What was it?
There's also the whole, I'm pointing the wrong way.
Yeah.
I need a target.
Yeah, I need a target. This is no place for a horse. Stuff like that, it's like, you kind of get it after the first time.
If it just doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah. And I don't want to, like, spend the entire game, like, focusing my...
Not enough essence.
Yeah, trying to keep it in check, not because you need to, but because you don't want the character to...
Yeah. I
Have
mean, I
their
guess like,
dialogue
what I
triggered.
could do is actually just get rid of my skeleton archers, because that's really where this happens, and why this happens.
Most of my moves are because of hatred, though, so...
Yeah.
That's about to trigger it. We had to hold back.
But, so, there's only so much we can do about it, is really, I guess, what
dead
I'm just trying to
worm.
say. Frustratingly enough. It's not so bad, but it's like, I wish more games had... what was it? Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for all of its faults, had lovely meters for combat dialogue that you could just turn off. And so you'd never have to worry about it. As compared to... What was the game I was playing? Oh! Fallout 76, I was running into this problem. Where you straight up would, like, if you... whatever. If you wanted to listen to an audio log, it was
Yes.
tied to the...
It was tied to music?
No, sound effects.
Sound effects.
Music I could work with, but sound effects is awful. Because, like, blam, 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 you know, gun noises?
Yeah, you were telling
Like,
me
you
about that.
really don't want to have to hear that sort of thing. And I'm always a little baffled by game developers that, like, don't catch that sort of thing. I guess it's not a priority, because most people probably just turn games on low and just don't think about it. But for me that actually has to / wants to listen to the game, it's a problem sometimes.
Yep. And it definitely interrupts everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know that's supposed to be disruptive so that you're reminded of what needs to be done, but...
But, like, in this game, it almost doesn't even... It doesn't even matter as much, if that makes sense. Like, you don't need to be that, like, watchful for your meters. In World of Warcraft, you used to really have to watch, like, you know, am I out of mana? Because that was life or death in a raid.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's just the difference between me summoning a couple of skeletons and not. I guess the point is just stop attacking or casting the spell so much, but I don't know. So, unrelated to grumping about audio, what is your favorite singular ingredient in anything?
An ingredient?
Yeah, we were talking about, you know, foods earlier, you know. What would be the one food that you couldn't live without, you know, that you would eat for the rest of your life if you had to? What would be what is your favorite just Straight up ingredient. Somebody yells hairspray, which worries me to no end.
Ew. Well, I know that yours would be milk. Because you could make everything out of it. You love your yogurt. You love your cheese.
Ice cream, cheese.
Ice cream.
No, you've got a dairy is real high on my list.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it is a singular substance for the most part. Granted, yogurt and ice cream would sort of taste terrible without a bunch of sugar. But I think you can make ice cream with,
The sugar-free ice cream isn't as flavorful, but you can make it.
But can you make it with only ice to cool it, or do you have to have additives?
You have to have, like, several things.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, what's your favorite ingredient? Not like,
my favorite.
What are dishes that you could make only with said ingredient? It's like at that point you better pick like apple or oranges or something.
Well, it's one of those things where, for me,
this will be
would it be a fruit, a vegetable, a seasoning, or a meat? I'm probably gonna err on probably a type of vegetable. The question is, I mean, I absolutely love onions in most things, but on their own, they can be quite flavorful. But they're not. I suppose I shouldn't worry about nutrition.
Do not fear the end.
I do really love peanuts and peanut butter, because that's in a bunch of desserts.
Yeah.
Though you can't really, I mean, chocolate you can have as, well, chocolate candy or chocolate flavoring or hot cocoa.
Man, I miss the cacao back in Croatia. The, like, not super sweet hot cocoa drink.
Oh.
That stuff was lovely. I remember I think I would, like, towards the end of it, I was going out of my way to try cacao in as many places as I possibly could get to. Potato is a good choice, too. Huh.
Potatoes you can use in
yeah,
a lot,
but I'm not talking about, like,
ways.
an ingredient that you'll use forever. I'm just talking, like, pure favorites. Like, what do you like?
Well, I'm still probably going to say probably the onion garlic family because of the flavor that they add to things. And when it comes to desserts, definitely chocolate or... probably...
Now, it's a toss-up for me between milk and salt to some degree.
And then there's peanuts, but peanuts are so good. I love peanuts. I like having them as, well, peanuts, but then also peanut sauce and peanut butter.
Ooh, bread is another one. Oh, that's tough.
Well, bread is... It can be so many things depending on what you add to it.
True. That's more like a component as opposed to a direct ingredient.
An ingredient is a component that gets made into a finished
this
product.
gets into weird semantics.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is an ingredient? What is it? You know, does it have to be pure? At which point, you know, do we break it down all the way into table of elements just to be unassailable in our position here? This is dumb.
Well, maybe it's just like a raw food.
Weakness consumes you.
But then the thing is, you can't have milk raw. It has to be pasteurized.
Yeah, well, you can, but you have to be
have
be
a
used
stomach
to
of
it.
steel.
Well, I mean, it's one of those that if you're used to eating raw or drinking raw milk, you'd be totally fine. What was it? Was it up in Wisconsin or Idaho or something?
I mean, peanuts
politician was like, I'm legalizing raw milk, and then drank some and then got like
got really sick.
Yeah, really sick as a result of it. And it's like, you did this to yourself, nuts. I mean, I'm sure that there's actually like proper like reasoning for that. But whenever I hear people being like, raw milk is great for you, and it's like, no, it ain't. My mother used to drink raw milk. Okay, 1 second. There's probably a chest or a boss fight, actually.
Oh. I'll put those down. Wait.
Is that it?
That what?
That was it.
Okay.
How do you spell Croatian hot chocolate? I want to look it up. CACAO, I think. Nothing terribly fancy. I don't think in the... Well, I guess that was it.
But isn't cacao just...
I think it's the same thing as,
That's
like...
just, like, pure cocoa, though.
Well, yeah. That's kind of the point. It doesn't have a whole lot of added sugar.
Yeah, the thing about onions, what are the things that onions can be made into?
Okay, 1 second. I got a fancy belt.
You can have... Well, there's, like, the raw onions. There's, like, onion salads. There's... onion rings. Onions. Nah, the thing is, onions on their own aren't... Roasted. You have to have peanuts roasted all the time, right?
Generally, yeah.
Because there's either, like, dry roasted or roasted... Yeah, I think you can't really have them raw because they're a legume. Correct? Cashews are yummy too. But cashews, they're weird. They're these
Give
little
it more
things that
time.
hang off the bottom of these fruits.
The peanuts are a legume. Peanuts are beans?
Yeah,
Beans!
brains.
Huh.
Wait, you didn't know that?
Not so much, no, actually. I think I'm, like, vaguely aware that they kind of are, that peanuts aren't actually, like, nuts.
If you
like
think about it, they're in a
walnuts are.
pod.
No, it's right. I wonder what a
I need
peanut...
more hatred to do that.
I wonder what a peanut looks like, fresh. Like, when they are in the pod.
Do not fear the end.
Yeah.
Because that...
Makes me wonder what a lima bean pod looks like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you only ever see lima beans outside the pod. Ooh. That's something I love. Sugar snap peas. Because you can have them stir-fried or
I'm gonna
raw
switch
with
a
a sauce
skill
or
around.
something. There's too many foods to just choose one. One ingredient. You see, I just said that milk was yours because you just like having milk in everything.
It's true. I do. Milk and milk-based products are
An interesting
my
opponent.
favorite.
Decay
I mean, there's a
and
whole
rot.
part of the periodic, well, not periodic table, what am I saying? Food pyramid dedicated to dairy.
It's true. So of the food pyramid, which is your go-to?
I like vegetables.
That is not possible.
I mean, it's not possible. It's confusing.
Miserable wretches. I have no time for your excuses. Chaldean is on the brink of rebellion, and the enemy is closing in on the archives of Zoltan Kull. Slaughter him, and bring me the Mad Wizard's head and the Black Soul Stone, or I shall inflict incomprehensible
I cannot
agony
do
upon
that.
the
Not
lot of you.
hatred.
Oh, I missed what he said. Oh well. He was just angry at his underlings.
Yeah,
Also, what is that? Is it a plant or is it a serpent?
I don't know. Sorry, I'm messing with skills. I have Corpse Lance, which a lot of people are suggesting, but
Yep, we're using controllers. We're using a Switch Pro controller and then the two Joy-Cons
yep.
attached to their...
Yeah, we're playing this on the Switch, so we're using controllers. I would love it if Diablo 3 has controller controls on PC, but I've never checked. Because I wonder actually if you can do that on a number of them. Because I know Path of Exile
Whoa, a golem of
and
some sort.
Diablo all have console ports. It'd be lovely if I could hook up a controller. PC does not have controller controls. That sucks. Because this is really casual. Like, I like Diablo, but it's a lot of just clicking around to move in a direction.
And we found that clicking is actually the
It's
bane
bad
of our
for us, yeah.
existence. Yeah.
And so actually playing things on a
I
console is
need more
incredibly
hatred to do
comfortable.
that.
Because I can just say, okay, just left stick to move around, right stick to use all of my ability, or not right stick.
No, just a
Yeah, it's
low
just gonna be yelling
battery.
at us for a little while longer. We picked a bad time to play this, and I've totally forgot to
How do
charge
you
any
even
of them.
charge the Joy-Cons?
You have to plug them onto the Switch.
You plug them onto the Switch
Yeah,
itself.
I think I might get a wired. Oh no, a wired Switch controller wouldn't work very well.
Your Switch is all the way on the other side of the room.
Yeah, I would have to have one long ass cord. It'll just run out at a certain point, and then we'll get we'll just switch shell over to
essence
That
is
is
too
impossible.
low.
we'll just switch shell over to a single controller setup.
Ah,
You'll be fine.
maybe we should have gotten those little addition things.
What, the battery pack ones?
No. Remember how they had actually made Joy-Con rubber-y controllers that you just slip one Joy-Con
Oh.
into? Because
I
that's
mean,
what you're asking me to do, right?
I did say it was a nice, a good idea. We could always trade it off. I could actually. It might even be better if I used the single Joy-Con.
Really? I thought it would be too small for you.
It would be, but I press 2 buttons. How many?
My essence is too low.
How many different attacks do you use?
I use all of them.
Yeah. See,
I mean, I could use one if I wanted to be really lazy, but
I only use one because almost all the
whoa,
other
what are
ones
these enemies?
are summons and stuff.
Give it more time.
Okay, there I am. Okay. They're dying. Yeah, I
Well,
kind of want
we have
to.
sustained firepower.
I kind of would like to get a move on this series if possible. You know, it's actually better. You can press up, by the way, on the D-pad to cycle through gear that you found recently. So if
Oh.
any of them looks like an actual upgrade, you can just
You mean like this?
yeah. So you can actually like hot swap between them. So if any of them were an upgrade, I think you can even.
Returning to town.
It looked for a second like you were actually able to mess with your abilities that way too.
I don't know. I'd still prefer to have the breaks in town to get our gear in order. Wait, was that a little
Oh,
gremlin
another
that you had with a
what?
dagger? It would look like a little puffball with.
Oh yeah, I summon little demon things every 10 seconds in combat, which are. I actually haven't really seen them yet. The new belt I got has that ability of.
Looked like a little boil.
Yep.
There he is, up there. See his tubby tummy? Those guys?
Oh, that thing. Wait, no, that's your bat.
No, right in front of me. This guy with the big tummy.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
You have 3 of them currently.
Yeah, I summon them every 10 seconds. I guess they've got a limited lifespan. But yeah, oh, I got 4.
Oh, 4?
Oh,
When did
yeah.
that one pop
I don't
up?
know what the
Unless it was the 3
limitation on
seconds
them is,
thing.
but my belt
My
just summons the
essence is
creatures.
too low.
Man, I would love it if this game actually had like resources that you could spend to upgrade items, like just increase their effective level. I like things in games that let me scale items and equipment up instead of just gear treadmilling new stuff. And it's like, no, I actually really like this belt. Just sacrifice things to improve it. Anyway, like I was saying, I want to kind of speed this and crosscode up. I mean, obviously, because we've got the let's go.
In
Oh, here it is.
Ooh.
I can feel my blood nearby. They hid some of it beyond this portal.
There we go.
So we have to enter the portal then.
Yep. But yeah, we've got Let's Go Eevee, but I've also got Path of Exile coming out, like the new expansion, which I was kind of talking about, I think in Spyro, but that new expansion's coming out in 3 weeks. And I don't know. Path of Exile is always one of those
This will
series
be a challenge.
that we've always tried to do, but I've never succeeded at.
Your death
I always thought it was a little dark and...
I don't like the
Not-
style as much as like Torchlight and stuff. A lot of people do.
Wow, we're frozen for a moment.
A lot of people are quite fond of that.
Also, the tree was intimidating to me. For skills.
Oh, I love that. Extreme customization is so satisfying. Like, the more fine-tuning I can do in a game, the happier I am. It's why... I think it's part of the reason why I was actually kind of originally disappointed in Diablo 3. They've improved it greatly since, but it was very much originally a very vanilla game. You know, they switched it out so every power just can be modified slightly. Whereas, like, Diablo 2, you could do some wild stuff and builds and whatnot.
Corpse.
And so, a lot of people, I think a lot of people still see Diablo 3 as a bit of a downgrade. I think it's probably just more sacrificed in the sake of accessibility. You know, they did the same thing in World of Warcraft. Get rid of those old talent trees, replace them with these kind of newfangled
the talents.
Yeah, hot swapping like handful of talents instead of a tree. And on one hand, it actually does make a lot of sense that, like, you know, pretty much everybody ends up pigeonholed into the same build. And so either you end up with a system like Path of Exile that's, like, ridiculously deep and dense, but inaccessible to most people, or something close to this or World of Warcraft, where there's only so much left that you can actually customize, because otherwise new players get kind of punished for it, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Though, I thought that the old trees in World of Warcraft weren't really that difficult. Like, I mean, they weren't... Not that they were difficult, it's just that...
They weren't Path of Exile levels of, like, crazy.
It was one of those things where you only ever had enough points to really fill one tree, and then maybe half of another.
Yeah, it was generally 1.5 where you could... It was... Oh, man, when I played it was, like, 45-17, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Was, like, the split, or was 45-13? I don't remember.
So it mattered what specializations you chose. Now you can switch between them at will.
Yeah. Well, yeah, back in the day you can even hot swap. You had to pay increasingly large amounts of money to respec every single time.
Increasing?
Yeah.
It wasn't just a flat rate?
Yeah, it went up to like 200 gold, or... It was a lot. I didn't like it as much. It got pricey. Oops. I need these.
I suppose they wanted to encourage people that could tank or heal to be able to do so in dungeons and such.
Okay, treasure goblin in the back.
Oh, really?
Yep. Keep chasing him. He's down here.
Yep.
Okay, there he goes. And he is incapable of doing anything. Yoink.
Yep. There we go.
A lot of gems. Dude was loaded for goodies for us.